In this episode, we go over the San Francisco 49ers 2024 draft picks. Episode 31 of N1 from the End Zone starts now.
You're watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.
In the 2024 NFL Draft, the 49ers had 8 picks, including a first and a second round pick. This was the first time since the 2021 draft that the 49ers had both picks, and boy, did they not waste them. With the 49ers' first overall pick, they decided to give their star quarterback, Brock Purdy, a new offensive weapon for the upcoming season and selected wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, 31st overall. In the second round, they picked up cornerback Renardo Green from Florida State, followed by offensive lineman Dominick Puni in the third round, 86th overall, safety Malik Mustapha in the fourth round, 124th overall, running back Isaac Guerendo, fourth round, 129th overall, wide receiver Jake Counting, fourth round, 135th overall, offensive lineman Jarret Kingston, sixth round, 215th overall, and linebacker Tatum Bethune, seventh round, 251st overall. Guys, this was honestly a great draft for us, especially because we needed depth in all of the positions that we actually drafted in. The second round drafting Renardo Green was perfect because Ambry Thomas and Diamador Lenore both are due for contract extensions, I believe, after the end of this year. And realistically, I could see both of them leaving or us being able to resign Ambry because he, I believe, would be cheaper than keeping Diamador Lenore, and we are also trying to build for the future. Ricky Pearsall, guys, I'm going to go over Ricky Pearsall here in a second because I am excited about this acquisition. Personally, I wanted to get Kool-Aid McKinstry in the first round because I thought he was a stud cornerback out of Alabama, but they didn't go that route. They went with Ricky Pearsall. And this kid, he will ball for us, and I am excited about that. When it comes to offensive lineman Dominick Puni, who we picked up in the third round, guys, he is a stud. I'm trying to find stats for him prior to 2022, but I think he only played 2 years of college ball, and in neither one of those 2 years did he allow a sack. Last year, he played 745 total snaps, never allowing a sack, and the rush game for the Jayhawks averaged 206 yards a game. He was also first team Big 12 honors last year. Guys, we might have a successor for Trent Williams in Puni, and if it doesn't work out as a tackle, he can always be moved into guard. Right now, that's what they have him listed as on ESPN. So I'm excited because, guys, we need depth at right tackle. Well, McKivitz wasn't the answer last year. Trent isn't always going to be healthy throughout the entire season. And to be honest, I'd rather Trent miss games earlier on in the season rather than later on so he can be fresh when it comes to the playoffs, especially this year, because I think this might be Trent's final year. So drafting Dominick Puni for the future is a great pickup, especially because he looks like he's going to be a stud. Malik Mustapha giving us depth at safety, something that we desperately need. I still contend that Talanoa Hufanga and Jair Brown, who we drafted last year in the third round, who was our first overall pick, essentially, panned out to be a stud. And I think both of them should play together. But Malik Mustapha, that is just adding more depth. And I trust John Lynch and his decision making when it comes to picking up safety, because literally, I feel like all of the safeties we've recently picked up through free agency and even through the draft have all worked out. Hufanga, because of his ACL, I don't think we're going to be able to re-sign him, even though I genuinely believe Hufanga is him and he's amazing and he is an integral part to that defense. But because he's coming off that ACL, it's never a guarantee, especially because of how well Jair Brown played. But hopefully we get them both on the field next year and we're going to have a killer secondary, especially now that we've added depth with Malik Mustapha. And from reports have it that we're currently in discussions with Earl Thomas. about maybe bringing him in as well. So safety, that secondary is going to be great next year. So with Malik Mustapha coming in, just adding more depth to that position. And in John Lynch, I trust. In John Lynch, when it comes to the safety position, I trust indubiously. So when it comes to Isaac Guerendo, he is actually the perfect back for the 49ers offensive system. He is a versatile back who can run and catch the ball. Last year, he was a touchdown machine for the Louisville Cardinals in the ACC, where he scored 11 touchdowns, and he was number 7 in the ACC in touchdowns scored. He was number 4 in yards per carry last year in the ACC, averaging 6.1 yards per carry, and number 8 in touchdowns from scrimmage last year. And overall in the ACC, he was a big part of the Louisville offense last year, which helped him raise his stock tremendously. Because if you look at the prior 4 years that he had with Wisconsin, he wasn't really getting the opportunities that he needed to flourish and progress. And when he finally got the opportunity to be the Wisconsin lead back, he didn't necessarily make the best out of those opportunities, especially because I don't think Wisconsin had a really good offense. But with the Louisville Cardinals, dude what turned out to be a stud. He had 14 games. Had 132 rushing attempts for 810 yards. Even though in Wisconsin he didn't necessarily shine, he still averaged 6 yards a carry. Dude has always been able to average yards per carry between 6 to 7 yards. Whenever he gets the touches, he gets yards. Will that translate to the NFL? Who knows? But he is essentially perfect for the style of offense that we have. We like to do a lot of bubble screens. We like to give it to the backs a lot. We give it to CMC, and having a kid like Isaac Guerendo is perfect for our style and perfect for our offense. So when it comes to Jacob counting our our first fourth round pick, guys, he is a sneaky great acquisition. Dude was number 1 in the Pac-12 in 2022 with 85 receptions. He is listed right now at number 9 in the NCAA with 316 career receptions. Dude has been dude basically every year that he was healthy and he was able to play, he was a baller. He loves football. That's my main takeaway from what I got when he was able to play during the pandemic season. A lot of our players that we picked up, they decided to play a 5th year because of the pandemic. That one year that he played, that they had that pandemic season, he played all 8 games. He had 41 receptions for 691 yards. Dude, if they had played for the full 12 or 13 games that year, he probably would have had 3,000-yard seasons, and he could have probably been a first round pick. That didn't occur. When he was with Arizona last year, he had 13 touchdowns, which is actually really great. He was a touchdown machine. He was number 5 in the Pac-12 last year with 13 TDs. He was number 1 in the Pac-12 with 85 receptions in 2022. He ranked 9th in the NCAA last year with 90 receptions, but he was number 2 in the Pac-12. Dude is a baller. He's finished in the top 10 in yards per reception in each year that he has been in college. Do I think that it's going to translate into the NFL? I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know. But he loves football. He has played a lot of football. He is developed in college, and he looks like he is mature, and he looks like he loves ball, and I'm excited to have him with the 49ers, especially because we don't know what the future holds for our wide receiver room past this year. This year, we're going to have Brandon, we're going to have Debo, we're going to have Ricky, Juwan, Jacob, Cowing, Tariq Owens. I think it's Tariq Owens, the rookie that went undrafted. We're going to have Chris Conley. We just brought back Trent Williams. Our wide receiver room is loaded this year for Brock Purdy, ladies and gentlemen. And these kids, they're gonna say, oh, he has Debo, oh, he has Brandon. But these kids that we're drafting, they're talented. And Brock Purdy is gonna get the most out of these guys. And hopefully these guys fit into our system for many years to come. Will it translate? I don't know. I'm very optimistic, but just doing my research right now, looking into these guys, it's just very exciting. When it comes to offensive lineman Jarret Kingston, I'll be honest, I don't even know if he'll make the roster. I think he might just be a practice squad player at the end of the day. I'll be real with you. I don't watch college football, so I'm going off basically reading highlights, watching the tape that makes sense. And if you look at the tape from a lot of these guys, you can see how they can fit into our offensive scheme and our offensive system because it's not what we're going to ask them to do is not drastically different than what they were doing already in college. It's just at another level, and hopefully that can translate. With Jarret Kingston, I don't know if he will be able to be an NFL caliber player for us. USC wasn't necessarily stellar last year, especially their offensive line, allowing Caleb Williams to be pressured as much as they allowed him to be pressured. And Jarret Kingston was a part of that offensive line as well. So he's a 6th round pick for a reason. Will he be a practice squad player? Most likely. Will he be on the 53-man roster by the beginning of the year? Maybe. I he might just be for depth. Dominick Puni, I think he's gonna be a starter for us either this year or next year. Jarret Kingston, he is most likely a practice squad player, if not a second or third string offensive lineman for us this year, more or less as a guard. I don't think he is fit to be an offensive tackle, especially at this level of professional football. When it comes to Tatum Bethune, there's a reason why he fell to the 7th round. In his entire college career, he only got 340 tackles with 9 pass deflections and 7.5 sacks on 4 interceptions. He played 5 years in college, essentially, but that doesn't mean he's not a good player. That doesn't mean he's not a hard worker. There is a lot of development that has to take place for Tatum Bethune to really be a viable piece in our defense. And I think with the leadership of Nick Sorensen and even the help of Brandon Staley, who has worked with linebackers his entire NFL career, essentially with the Bears, Chargers, Rams, now with us, I think Tatum Bethune has a bright future ahead of him. Will he be Fred Warner or Dre Greenlaw? I don't think so, but he might be a good second or third string in the future. Definitely a practice squad player for us with a year or two away from really being a contributor. This draft, I see 4, if not 5, of the players that we picked up actually working out for us. It has remnants of the 2021 draft when we picked up Hoof, Diamador Lenore, Ambry Thomas. We picked up a lot of players in the 2021 draft, and Trey Lance was essentially the only one that didn't pan out. This draft, I feel like we picked up a lot of players that are great. And the one that stood out the most is the one that we didn't even go over in this little breakdown, and that is the number 1 overall pick for us, who was 31st overall in this year's NFL draft, Ricky motherfucking Pearsall, who will be a baller, ladies and gentlemen. And here, let me tell you why. So, who is Ricky Pearsall, and why am I excited about him being a 49er? Well, Ricky started his college career in 2019 with the Arizona State Sun Devils. He played 1 season with 49er star receiver Brandon Ayuk during Brandon's final college season and later transferred to the Florida Gators in 2022. At Florida, Ricky Pearsall was able to elevate his game in the highly competitive SEC conference by catching and running for more yards on less touches in his first year with the Florida Gators and becoming the number 1 receiving option for the Gators in his final year in college. His versatility makes him the perfect fit for the San Francisco 49ers as he is able to catch, run, and even throw the ball when he's asked to do it. Guys, I am actually very hyped about this selection. Personally, I wanted Kool-Aid McKinstry to be our first round pick. I thought him being in that Alabama system, basically being a pro-ready cornerback, and him falling as much as he fell was a shock to me because I think Kool-Aid McKinstry has the potential of being like Sauce Gardner in the NFL. But with that being said, the Niners did not squander the pick because Ricky Pearsall fits perfectly into what the 49ers like to do, especially with Debo being an injury-prone wide receiver at this point in his career and essentially entering his final year with the 49ers potentially. If we decide to re-sign Brandon Ayuk, it'll be Brandon. This will be Debo's last year, and then we can move off Debo next year on his final year of his contract and start putting Ricky Pearsall in. The thing about Ricky Pearsall is dude was a receiver who could also play out of the backfield. They lined him up everywhere. And in college, he did a couple of trick plays where he was asked to throw the ball and he has 100% completion. So Ricky Pearsall, for what the Niners like to do with the explosiveness, with the movement, with everything, he is the perfect fit for us. In 2022, in the SEC, he was number 1 in receiving yards per reception. In the NCAA that same year, he was number 4, averaging 20 yards per reception. In 2021, in the Pac-12, he was number 9 in receptions with 48. In the SEC in 2023, which was this past year, he was ranked number 6. Also, with Ray McLeod being gone, we lost our punt returner and our kick returner. He was number 7 with 126 punt return yards last year in the SEC, and number 9 in the SEC last year with 11 punt returns. Guys, this kid is perfect. This is what we needed, especially with Ray being gone and Danny Gray not being able to elevate. Between Ricky Pearsall and Jacob Counting, this has been a great draft for us in terms of receiver acquisition. Jacob Counting has a tremendous amount of football experience with a tremendous amount of catches, who I think will be able to pick up the NFL game. Ricky Pearsall in the SEC last year, in the much more competitive SEC, was able to elevate his level of play. And I think because of the versatility of everywhere they lined him up, being able to play out of the backfield, being able to play as a receiver slot, wherever. If you look at the tape, he was able to play everywhere. He is going to be perfect as Debo's replacement. And now those Debo packages are also going to become Ricky packages. So it'll be Ricky and Debo giving, oh my God, it's going to be great. I'm excited, guys. And this, do your research, guys, because Ricky Pearsall, guys, he will be him next year. Watch. If you don't believe me, watch CJ Stroud's reaction to when we drafted Ricky, because he knows that Ricky is the fucking man, guys. So yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna do some NPP right now, because you know me. Stay tuned, guys.
Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Time for empowering with positivity. In the last episode, I gave you 6 money line picks and went 4-2 with them. Today, I will be empowering you to make some more money with my NBA picks for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday's upcoming games. So, for Wednesday, take the Pacers plus 4.5 over the New York Knickerbockers. You guys may be wondering why I'm taking the Pacers over the New York Knickerbockers. Simply because they're only coming off a 1-day rest. All their starters, except for Hardenstein, played over 40 minutes, and Hardenstein played 36, and they're only having an 8-man rotation. I think they're going to be gassed by game 2, and I can see Indiana Pacers making it a close game. Can the Knicks pull off a 1 or 2 point victory? I think it'll be a very close game, but I'm taking the Pacers and the points in that game. For Thursday's games, take the Celtics minus 13.5 over the Cavs. Guys, even with Kristaps Porzingis out, the matchups favored the Celtics tremendously. Hornet has been giving them valuable minutes on the defensive end. Al Horford can still step it up when he needs to, even at his veteran age. And the offense is running through Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Derek White. Guys, it's just too stacked for the Celtics, even with Kristaps out, and I think the Celtics are going to be able to smash the Cavs again on Thursday. Take the Celtics 13.5 over the Cavs. For game 2 between the Thunder and the Mavs, take the Thunder -5.5. The reasoning behind taking the Thunder over the Mavs is because Luka Doncic got injured in this game, in the first game against the Thunder, and he still played 41 minutes and was only able to score 19 points on 19 shots. That wasn't efficient at all. Yes, he was able to score make 6 out of his 10 free throws, but that's only 60%. If he's able to get more rest, I think it'll benefit him in the long run. But because he got injured this game, he's only got 1 day rest. I'm taking the Thunder -5.5. Luka needs to rest up, and I think in game 3 he gets a couple days off, and then it'll be a better situation for the Mavs to win. Guys, take the Nuggets +4.5 over the T-Wolves. The reason behind that is because the Nuggets have 2 days of rest, and that's going to be beneficial to Jamal Murray and that calf injury that he's been dealing with. They're also the reigning champion, so I'm expecting them to come out and give them everything they got, because they cannot afford to go down 3-0 in this series. Yes, I understand that the Nuggets had between 3 to 5 days off before they faced the T-Wolves in game 1, and that we saw what happened in game 1. But I'm expecting a championship performance from the Nuggets in game 3 in order to stay alive in the series, because you cannot go down 3-0 and potentially be in an elimination game in game 4. So take the Nuggets +4.5 over the T-Wolves. I am not picking the Knicks versus Pacer game, because it all depends on how they do in game 2 against the Pacers, and I still think the Pacers are going to win game 2 because all the starters are essentially burnt out, playing 40 minutes on just 1 day rest, and they're only having an 8-man rotation. I don't think that's sustainable, and I could see the Pacers winning game 3 as well, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So yeah, guys, those are my picks for the upcoming playoff games. Guys, please subscribe, like, and comment on the video. Share this with your friends, families, and partners. Make some money with my picks, listen to my sports takes, or just watch for some positivity. Always remember, desire is power, and if you desire to be great, you have the power to be great. Thank you for watching another episode of Unwin from the End Zone. I love and appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for more.
Baby, you've been blaming me. You've been blaming me. You've been blaming me.